Hi, welcome to Ocean's video series. This is Easyfit. Welcome to this edition of scene control. We're going to take some steps through configuring scene control here in the new Navigan for Ocean. One of the keys here is that scene control is actually something that we have not offered before in the past as far as an option. So scenes meaning that you can take any one of these four buttons here on this this switch. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, typically reserved for sort of left and right, brighter and dimmer, brighter and dimmer. We can now break these up into scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, or we can break it into scene 1 and scene 2, and then still on, off, bright, and dim on this side. So there's a bunch of options there as far as how this works. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense as far as trying to define scenes. So in this case, what I'm going to set this up as is I want the right side of the switch to be scene 1 and scene 2, scene 1 on the top, scene 2 on the bottom, and I want the left side of the switch to be on, off, and dimming for the same controllers. So you could split this up and have it for different controllers or different zones, but in this case I'm going to show you how we set it up for the same controllers just so we've got it all on the same page. You can see here on my top bar, I'm going to take a couple steps back, even though there's other videos out there that show how all this works. I just want to kind of recap it just so that it makes sense. In case you haven't watched the other videos, you can work with this scene selection here anyway. So you can see at the top we've got the red bar. That's because my USB stick here is not plugged in all the way. If I go ahead and plug this in, you'll see the green light on the USB stick come on, and then it takes a couple seconds and that bar at the top will turn blue. It just did, and that means that we are connected and ready to go on this whole setup so we can make this work. So I've already moved two of the controllers into my zone here, and again you can find how to do that in the other videos that are available. So I'm not going to go through that in detail again. But I will click on these just so you can see which two. So those bottom two right devices there on my demo board, and we've got those available. So what I want to do now is go to the Linkables tab, and I'm going to clear this view so that we don't have anything in there. That's from my other projects that I've been working on. And what I'm going to do is press the top switch, then I'm going to press, or the right switch, then I'm going to press the left switch. Now we've got them both shown up here, and I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to add those to the scene control video zone down here in the lower right. So those moved now over to this zone, so you can see those here, and they're labeled right and left, so you can figure out exactly which one you want to do. So what we're going to start with is the scene switch. So we want to take this switch itself, and we're going to make that into scene mode, which is over here on the left side. We're going to go down to pair 1, and I'll show you what that means here in just a second. What I want to do is take this dual rocker right, and I'm going to apply it to all. So now it just added that here to these two, and so we will have that whatever the default value is in there currently is what this top switch will do. So I believe that's taken us to 75%. When I press the bottom one, that should be taking us to 1%. So that's all set that way. That appears to work just fine, but I want the left switch to also work as an on, off, and dim switch. So I'm going to select the left switch here on the screen. Then I'll go over here and look at the scene mode. It says disabled. That means that it just works as a normal switch. So we're going to apply that to all. So now that's linked to both of those. You can click on this here to see those links and make sure that it's going that way. If you wanted to remove it from one, just click on the link line. And then click remove link, and it'll take that off. So to get those link lines to go away, you can either click hide lines, or you can click this yellow box here again and make that go away. So now we've got this left switch, and it will work those as normal, as expected, as a typical on, off, and dim switch. And so we're going to kind of ignore that left side because we know how to do that. That's been done a lot in the past. We're going to focus on this scene switch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight one of these controllers, and I'm going to go over here to the settings button. On this left side you can see these little slider bars. That's the settings, and it's under the switch category because it's something to do with switches. So I'm going to go to the switch category, and here's our pair 1 button 0 and pair 1 button 1. So pair 1 button 0 is the bottom here. That takes us to 1%, which it's set to. And pair 1 button 1 is the top button, which takes us to 75%. So we've got these, it's not super clear how it's labeled, but this is the way that it's worked out today. We might clean this up a little bit in the future. But if I want to take this one to, say, 100%, and I want to take this one to 30% just so we can see the difference. Again, this would, now I click save, and that gets saved into there. So this is only happening in one of these devices currently. It's happening to the green setup. So we've got that scene now in the green one. So if I go back over here to my zone tab, after I've saved it, I go back to the zone tab, and then I click on the other relay, which is the red one. We don't have that same setup in here. So if I want to copy and paste the two, I highlight this one, which is the green one, and then I also highlight by pressing and holding, I highlight the red one, and now it'll give me the option to copy settings from the scene control video relay, which is this one here. And this is the settings, and this is the links. So we've already got the same links, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Then I'll click copy settings. So now I just copied from this one to this one, and everything should go to the proper values in that case. So this one we just took to 30%, I believe, and this one we took to 100%. So they should get brighter. And if we want to double check kind of what that's doing, we can go into one of these relays, go back to the settings button, under the switch category, then you look here and you've got scene 1 button 0, scene pair 1 button 1, and let's change this guy to 1% and this one to 100%. And then we will save that, and you'll see the difference how it calculates this inside the relay. So that is 1% there on the green one, and that is 100% on the bottom one there. So just remember that button 0 is actually the top button, and button 1 is the bottom button. So that's it for scenes. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's go back over here and make sure that we copy the settings between the two so that they're all the same. And if I had 25 relays in here, I could highlight all of them and copy the settings over the same exact way. And not mess with the links that way. So that's it. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our support team, and you can find that support on navigan.com, and all the phone numbers and email addresses are all there at the bottom. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in to our videos. We look forward to making more of these videos for you and trying to help speed this process as much as we can for you. We're easy to find, and we'd love to support you, so please reach out. We do staff experts in building automation, wireless controls, and all sorts of aspects of these different projects that you're working on. Please reach out to us as you need assistance. We're happy to help.